Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV and the after show for Dancing with the Stars season 27. It is New York night on Broadway. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, it is New York night at Dancing with the Stars in the ballroom here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yes. And we are back and we're going to talk about episodes 2 and 3. Last week's episode and this week's episode. I am your host, Karla Renata, and next to me is...
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm your host, Karla Beltran.
I'm your host, Jeff Graham.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kayley Stumpe.
Great. So let's just talk about this opening that they had for Dancing with the Stars tonight. It was really cute. It was to On Broadway, which is an old George Benson tune. And side note, so I was in a musical on Broadway called Smokey Joe's Cafe, and that was one of our production numbers. So that brought back memories for me to see that.
Hey-o.
Hey-o,
Oh, my
Broadway. Anyway, but anyway, I really, really enjoyed it. They had a taxi cab, a New York taxi cab in the middle of the ballroom, and they had a ballet break by New York principal ballerina, Miss Tyler Peck. Mm-hmm. And they had that tap break. In
the
like
tap
the
number was amazing.
Loved it.
That
I loved
tap
all
break
the
was
different
everything.
Dance, all the different dances they had.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, they kind of encompassed everything that would be in a Broadway show, so I kind of love that. So let's get right into it. The first couple to go up was DeMarcus and Lindsay doing a foxtrot. I felt like it was really good. You know, I'm a big old DeMarcus fan, so we know that from last week. I love me some DeMarcus. And I loved him and Lindsay together, and I love that they called him a chocolate piece of steel. that made me laugh out loud.
I think he said it first, right? Like, I think he might have self-designated that.
He did self-designate it, and then they repeated it. But
Which,
it just
good for
made me,
him.
But I'm
Yeah,
like, if you're going to
seriously.
have a nickname, that's one to have.
I was going to say,
Definitely.
insert that into everyone's head, and then they'll keep saying it. It's great.
I loved it. I loved their dance. I thought it was very elegant. I thought it was very soft. I thought that Lindsay's choreography was really nice for DeMarcus, and there's that height difference with them, and I feel like that she choreographs to their height difference very, very well. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was funny that Lindsay said, like, it was hard to get his big body to move slowly, because with the foxtrot, it's very slow and steady and still, but he did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his footwork was great. And I actually thought this dance was, like, so cute. I love his facial expressions. I love how he, like, expresses himself. And he's, like, you can just see that he's really out there and he's on the dance floor and he's feeling the music. And he's, like, I know that he's thinking about the moves because you can tell that he's thinking about it, but it's good that he's thinking about it because he's performing it well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might not have been quite as much there for this dance as you guys were.
No!
I thought it was a great foxtrot. I love the choreography. It's funny, I do think the height difference played a bit to their disadvantage during this, and I think they did as well as they could, but I think we've seen really tall guys. I just felt like their frame was a bit affected, and DeMarcus didn't look quite as relaxed. It's funny, his lower body and his footwork was great, but I thought his upper body looked a little tense owing to the height difference. I thought it was good, though, and the judges loved it, but I don't know if I liked DeMarcus a lot. I think the height difference here played a bit to their disadvantage, and they weren't able to quite compensate as much as I've seen other couples do it, personally.
Okay.
It was a little bit
fair.
awkward at the beginning, I noticed, just because it was so slow, but at the end, you did notice the footwork, and Len commented on that, saying how amazing his footwork was.
Yes.
Yeah, his footwork was good.
Okay, well, I disagree. I like them. So, just to encapsulate what the judges said, Len did say that he nailed the footwork, that he was good last week, but he was better tonight. Bruno said they made it look like a stroll in the park, Central Park in the spring, and that if he kicked any higher, he was going to join the Rockettes. That made me laugh out loud.
His kicks were the best. I loved it.
He was
like,
giving you bop mines.
Yeah.
And those toes were pointed because you know how I feel about flex feet. Carrie Ann said it was elegant and soft and that there was a great future right there for him in the Dancing with the Stars ballroom. They got an 8 and an 8 with a total of 24 out of 30 for their foxtrot. Right after we saw DeMarcus and Lindsay dance, we had an old ballroom favorite, Mark Ballas, show up. He's on Broadway right now doing Kinky Boots, which just announced that they're about to close. But before that, he was in Jersey Boys. So look at him transferring from the ballroom to the Broadway. I love that.
He's amazing.
Yeah, and right after he showed up, we went to the next couple, which was Danielle and Artem.
Danella.
Danella.
Is that right?
I think
We're
it's
still
Danelle.
trying to figure out how to
It's
say
not
her name.
Danella. It's not Danella. There's no
I'm
A on the
pretty
end of her
sure that
name.
it's Danelle.
Danelle.
Yeah.
Perfect.
'Cause
Okay.
It's like Dan and an L.
We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. Somebody in the chat room tell us so that
Yeah,
we don't keep
someone let
butchering
us
her
know.
names.
Danelle.
Danelle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Danelle and Artem did a cha-cha. I love that, the dances for her are always a challenge because she is blind. So when it's a more slower dance like a foxtrot or a rumba or something like that, it's a little bit easier for her, I think, because there's more body contact and it's easier for Artem to kind of guide her around the ballroom. But when it's a faster dance, a lot of times you're separate for those
Yeah.
dances and you're not necessarily together and there's not a whole lot of
Right.
body contact. So doing the cha-cha was a bit of a challenge for her. And I love that they blinged out her little walking stick.
I know,
Yes.
I know. I love that they incorporated her cane, and we thought that would be a good addition to her dance. But it killed me when she misstepped a little bit, and you could immediately see it on her face.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I will say, you can tell she's an Olympian when she's competing in sports. It's funny, I do think this is a whole new zone for her and a whole new arena for her.
is,
She's a
yeah.
bit out of her element, I gotta say. I love that they gave her this first, eight counts to do her own thing, but I thought it was a little hard to watch. I don't think she felt really necessarily comfortable without Artem on stage, and I like her a lot. I like her spirit, but this process seems more challenging for her than for other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually agree with you, Jeff, on the fact that I loved seeing her standing on her own because I think it was like very empowering for us to be able to see her like dance and didn't just like have the whole attention be on her. But I think that's kind of what like threw her off a little bit because like there's like whenever you're dancing and you're like doing the counting like in your head, especially because she's probably doing a lot of the counting and counting the steps, and like if something comes like too soon or too fast or you don't count at the right time, that's probably why she messed up when they went down like walking down the slide, because she was like by herself. I think that if they would have started together, they probably would have been able to like do the dance from start to finish like they did last week. I feel like last week was a much stronger week for her than this week was.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bruno said that he respected her and that for her to take center stage on her own showed that she was confident. Carrie Ann agreed with you because she was counting with her mouth open.
Yeah, she
so
was.
there was she like was chewing.
Clearly very in her head.
But
Yeah.
I have to say that she has a great attitude.
Oh,
her
yeah.
attitude and
Yeah.
her disposition is just unparalleled in the ballroom. So
I'm hoping to see a huge jump from her. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, definitely, like, you can tell that dancing isn't what she's most comfortable with. And like you said, if she gets off a step, she might not have the ability yet to adjust. But
Yeah.
it would be fun to see a huge leap because she's got that attitude. She's here
Yeah.
for it. She's just
Yeah.
got to relax a little bit.
Yeah. What else did they say? Oh, they did acknowledge the fact that it was a very competent performance. That's what Lynn called it. And the fact that when she did mess up, she didn't fall apart. Because there are some people that when they mess up on the ballroom, they can't let it go and
Yeah.
it messes them up for the rest of the dance. And she just kept it moving. So kudos to her for that.
Yes.
They got a 6-6 and a 6 with a total of 18 for their cha-cha.
Feels fair.
Yeah.
John and Emma were up next doing the Charleston to New York, My Home Sweet Home was the song that they danced to. And what I didn't know about John Schneider, I did not know he was a native New Yorker. I would have never in a million years guessed he was
I
a
was
native
going
New
to
Yorker.
say the Broadway stuff. I was like, oh, I didn't know he did Broadway.
Yeah, that I did know, but I didn't know he was a native New Yorker. I didn't know he was from
Yeah.
upstate
Yeah, we
in
learned a lot
Westchester.
more about him.
I was like, I love
episode.
learning that about him.
Yeah.
So they danced to that, and what I loved in his package when he said that this Dancing with the Stars is different for him because when he was on Broadway in Chicago and in Grand Hotel, he always had these characters where people were dancing around him, and he was just
Right.
kind of standing there being lovely. But on Dancing with the Stars, he's got to bring it. He can't just stand there and be lovely and let people dance around him. So he's got to bring it. They had a really nice lift that they did, but it was a little rough getting into it.
Yes.
I said, ooh, I like the lift, but I was like, ooh, that was a little rough getting into that lift. And I like that the number, it looked like if you could literally take that number that they did and put it in a Broadway show. Like it looked like it had
Yeah.
a good production value.
Oh,
It
the
looked like
Grand
you could
Central Station.
Yeah.
The whole set was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could literally just take it and plunk it right into a Broadway show. What you guys think about it?
I personally loved his facial expressions and his kick. His kick was awesome. And it definitely took me back to, like, Broadway. And I was like, this is so beautiful. I enjoyed his performance because I could tell that he enjoyed his performance.
Yeah.
So it was definitely one of those. I think this performance I enjoyed more than last week's, for sure.
Yeah, he was having so much fun.
Yeah.
This was like kind of a high for me of the night. Yeah. I just feel like
Production value wise, yes.
production
It was the
value wise,
best.
attitude wise, performance wise, he was really selling it. I think
He did really great, yeah.
Definitely. He wasn't quite as clean as some of the other dancers we saw during the night, but when you sell it that much, you understand why the judges are giving them the scores that he's getting. It was also props to Emma, because this was just like Emma at her best. I love when she choreographs these big, kind of over the top numbers, and I think they're kind of a dark horse partnership for me. I thought this was so much fun.
I liked this. Last week, I feel like I was a little bit worried about John. This week, I'm not really worried about John.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
loving every moment. And he
Yeah.
was a little bit off timing at the very beginning when he was dancing solo with the other male dancers before he got into dancing with Emma. But besides that, I mean, he killed it. I love watching him. He's just so entertaining.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So adorable.
Carrie Ann said he was polished and professional, and she said he is the greatest showman, which I agree with that. Lynn said it was a great improvement from last week, so he agrees with us that he would have liked a little more Charleston in the dance, however.
I can see that.
And Bruno said that it was a grand central spectacular mini musical first class ride. Can I just say, I love when Bruno Tonioli gives his opinion, because, honey, you know he's about to go in when he gets up from that table and starts moving and swaying.
Yes.
You know he's about to go in, and we're about to get our giggle on.
My darling, my darling.
My darling. I love
Well,
him.
you know who also has, like, really good comments?
Ooh, who?
It's AfterBuzz. Hey, AfterBuzzers. Our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're totally optional. So hit the subscribe button now for this channel and check out other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Yes, and we have the best fans at Dancing with the Stars after
Yes,
show. They
we
are very
do.
vocal. They let us know exactly how they feel. They do not mix their words, and we love them for it, especially Love by You, because she is always there.
We got Love by
Yes.
You. We've got Nella tonight. We've got Book Movie TV Worm. We have Mercy 7. It's a fun crew, so keep that chat going.
Hey, hey, hey. And just to round out John and Emma's comments, they got an 8, 7, and an 8 with a total of 23 out of 30 for their dance. Moving on to
Do
Nancy
you guys
and
think that's
Val.
overscored?
No.
No? Because
No.
when
I
you look at
thought it
DeMarcus
was.
getting 3 8s and then John getting 2 8s, do you think DeMarcus and John are equal?
No, I think that
think-
was a little bit overscored. I probably would have scored them a 20, not a 23.
I would have gone 3 7s.
I think tonight they were probably on equal footing.
Okay.
But that's just
Okay.
That's just my
That's
opinion.
fair.
Fair enough.
I think tonight. Now
Yeah.
we'll see what happens tomorrow night and next week, and I might be singing a different tune.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to Nancy and Val, who are both from New York City, so this was a special night for them. They danced a cha-cha to Uptown Girl, Billy Joel's Uptown Girl.
So good.
And Nancy had a little bit of a snafu this week. She
Yeah.
had a fractured foot. And I love that Tom Bergeron was like, usually it's like week 8 or 9 before people start, having some injuries. But dang, it's like week 2 and we got fractured feet and people on the IVs and all of that
I
all kind of
know.
stuff. I hollered. I was like, okay. Because, I forgot to mention, Danelle and her partner said that they were sick all week long.
Yeah.
So they were a little under going into the dance.
Right.
So I am remiss in mentioning that. Anywho, Nancy, when she danced, does 2 things that drive me absolutely crazy. I love her, but she always leads with her hips when she walks. She always leads with the bottom half of her body rather than walking straight and just walking, right? She always leads with her hips, and it makes her look kind of funky. It looks funky to me, and I catch it every time. And she has a tendency to not straighten her arms all the way out. She doesn't let the movement flow all the way through her arms. It's always like a little curved bent, and that just bothers me so badly. Bothers me so bad.
Yeah, she doesn't flow well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love watching her. She always looks like she's having a great time, and I love the routines that Val choreographs for her, and they look like they have like a little mutual admiration society going on. So I enjoy watching them. How about y'all?
I honestly felt like she had really low energy. I felt like she
That's
was
what-
kind
yeah.
of thinking too much about the steps.
I think
not
because of her
super-
foot. Yeah.
Her foot, and she just wasn't super in character. And then I was very surprised when Len said that it was very well done. I think Val's choreography kind of saved her because he did completely nail the cha-cha for her and for them as a team. But yeah, I don't love watching her dance.
You don't?
She's a little by the numbers, isn't she? She's kind of going through the motions rather than really performing. It's,
I thought it was
she's
too
hitting
slow.
her. Too
But
slow.
see right there, when he lets her go, you're gonna see her arm is like slightly bent. I'm like, Miss Thing, I'm gonna need you to straighten that arm
Yeah,
out.
it's just very like
It's slightly bent, and it's like I'm gonna need you to move through your arm and not keep it bent.
Right.
Like if you're gonna bend it, just bend it and move it out, but don't just.
She's kind of marking, isn't she? It doesn't look like she's really performing.
Full out.
No.
But she's not a dancer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing about dance, and we all know this, the thing about Dancing with the Stars is they take people, most of the time, they take people, because every once in a while they got some people that are fierce like Tinashe. We'll get to her in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's made, the show is made for people who are not dancers and to teach them how to do ballroom dancing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for somebody who doesn't know how to dance, that's probably why she fractured her foot, because she probably didn't roll through her foot dancing in some rehearsal that she did, and she probably was doing the Herman Munster popping it down like
Yes.
this and not rolling through her foot, which is probably why she fractured it. But I do seem to recall her saying that she had fractured it beforehand, and then it just got worse. So
It can be tough with Val too, because he's such a charismatic dancer. I think with Keo, it can be this way too, where sometimes they outshine their partner. And I wonder if Val, I mean, obviously he's so good, but maybe he needs to pull back a little bit because I think she's being overshadowed by him right now.
you
Yeah.
think so?
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe he's dancing all out so that she'll rise to his level. But to me, he's outperforming her. And I mean, I don't know. I want to see her give us.
But-
She's at a B right now. I want to see an A.
I feel like that's kind of a problem with Val though, because he's such an incredible dancer that he always needs to have like a strong partner.
Yes.
And she's strong, but she hasn't brought it all out yet. I feel like she's like so much in her head that she was like, oh, I need to, make sure that I'm getting everything right. I feel like she's thinking in like as an actress, like, oh, I have to memorize my lines and deliver them rather than her being like, oh, okay, like I have to memorize this dance and feel the dance,
Right, because Val is so technical and such a
Yes.
perfectionist. I feel like he needs to remind her that she needs to relax a little bit and try to enjoy and have fun.
Yeah.
Y'all, let's cut us some slack. It is week 2. Now, if this was week 4 or week 5, we've been having this conversation, I'd be like, yeah, okay. But it's week 2. So let's see what the judges said. Lynn said that she seemed more relaxed, so he disagrees with us. She seemed more relaxed, that she was more confident, and Bruno said that she seemed confident and self-assured, and Carrie Ann said that she started a little tentative in the beginning, but that she seemed to open up and become a little more confident as the dance progressed.
I will say, I did notice that misstep on the syncopated Cuban break, so I was glad when Len brought that up.
I knew you would notice
The
that.
first thing I wrote down.
You are too funny. So they got a total score of, not a total score, but individually was scored 7, 7, and 7 with a total score of 21.
Seems fair.
That was a good score.
So they also, in this show, introduced the fact that we're going to have Dancing with the Stars Junior coming up this Sunday.
That's so
Kayley, you got
exciting.
some news about that, right?
Yes, so the juniors are coming. I'm very excited. They are the cutest kids ever. Let's see. Should we go through all of them?
Yes,
really
let's go
quickly?
through them quickly.
So there's Addison Asta Smith. She was the winner of MasterChef Junior. She will be mentored with Keo. There's Ariana Greenblatt. She was in Avengers Infinity War. She'll be with Brandon Armstrong. Alana Thompson, if you guys remember Honey Boo Boo.
Who doesn't remember Honey Boo Boo?
I know. She'll
Honey
be with
Boo Boo
Artem.
Chow.
Honey Boo Boo Chow. Akash Vukhadi. He was the winner of the National Spelling Bee this year, the youngest boy to compete. He'll be with Whitney Carson. Sky Brown is a professional skateboarder with Alan Burstein. Manla Morris is the son of Stevie Wonder.
Ooh.
Very
Yes.
cool. He'll be with Cheryl Burke. Sophia Pippen is the daughter of Scottie Pippen. She'll be with Sasha Farber as her mentor. Hudson West is from General Hospital. His mentor is Haley Erbert. Mackenzie Ziegler is a pop star and sister of Maddie Ziegler with Gleb Savchenko. Trip Palin is the son of Bristol, grandson of Sarah Palin. He'll be with Jenna Johnson. Miles Brown is in Blackish, and he'll be mentored by Lindsay Arnold. And last is Jason Maybaum. He is the cutest little kid. Every clip I see of him is so adorable. He's in the show Raven's Home, and he'll be mentored by Emma Slater. And the judges for Dancing with the Stars Juniors this year are Mandy Moore. She is the choreographer for Dancing with the Stars. She also choreographed La La Land. Val Chmerkovskiy is a current pro. And Adam Rippon was on Dancing with the Stars Athletes, first runner-up.
Yep.
And he's, an ice skater.
Yeah.
Cool.
Olympian.
That'd be fun.
That's
So
so,
we're looking
exciting.
forward to that.
I love it.
And
This
Frankie,
is a first for them, and Frankie Munoz and Jordan Fisher from who previously competed in Dancing with the Stars are the host of the show, right?
yeah, we got that little sneak preview of them
They
tonight.
need a girl host, so if they want, they could call me.
Yeah, fair enough. Carla's available.
You better be plugging
I'm
for a
available.
job.
They had a nice little rapport, though. It's funny, if you would have told me on paper Jordan Fisher and Frankie Muniz co-hosting, I don't know as a producer if I would immediately get excited about it.
You know?
Yeah.
But they had a fun little moment
They
tonight.
did.
I think that they're the perfect pair because
Yeah.
both of them are very young at heart. So if you're going to have somebody hosting Dance with the Stars Junior, I think those were the two perfect people to do it.
They do. I mean, they have big shoes to fill. I think Tom Bergeron's one of the best hosts working in
Yeah.
the business right
Yeah,
now.
he is.
He's so good.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows how to like crack it out. I love
Definitely.
that moment where he was sitting in that chair and he let them.
It was the
he let
best.
them take over for him. He's like, "Yeah, why don't y'all run with this? I'm gonna sit down for a
We were
I
second."
love
definitely
that.
talking about his hosting like during the show. I was like, he's so good.
The cell phone.
Yeah.
I see you have the same cell phone provider I do over there, Mark.
Yeah.
That was
Really
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's. But another moment with Tom Bergeron is when they had some ABC shows like the host from Good Morning America Today, and Kelly and Ryan introduced some different segments this evening. When Kelly and Ryan went to introduce the first segment, Tom, when they came back from the clip, Tom called Ryan Regis. I'm like, oh
no.
did you really just do that?
We
I'm
had
like,
to rewind that to see if he
and then
meant to do
I had to
that.
rewind it to see. I'm like, he said Regis, didn't he say
He did.
Regis? And I
And
rewound
he's-
it. I'm like, oh, he said Regis, and he said, yeah, I'm gonna hear about that tomorrow. Yeah, no, you hearing about it tonight. So there's that Tom Bergeron.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward, Joe and Jenna did a foxtrot.
Ooh, Alexis.
Alexis.
Oh, did I
Alexis
skip
and
Alexis?
Alan.
I don't blame you for
My bad.
skipping Alexis. Anyone else think that she is a snooze? I'm throwing the shade tonight. I know people love Alexis.
I kind of loved her.
She's really good. Something about her I find so forgettable. Even when she's nailing it, that's just personally. I know Love by You sees me, and this might be a hot take. For me, she's just a drag.
Wow.
I know I might be the only one. I know you
All
guys
three of
love
us
her,
were like,
but
wow.
that's okay.
Let me just say that I love the fact that Alan took the Argentine tango and threw a ballet spin on it. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen that done on Dancing with the
really
Stars.
pretty.
I think that was really
And she
nice.
kept. This is the thing that killed me. She kept saying, "Oh, it's been so long since I've done ballet." I'm like, she about to kill this because the fact that she keeps talking about it lets me know that she's probably really good at it. She's
Right.
like, "Oh, it's been so long,"
I
and
know,
then she came
but
out and she killed
the fact
it.
that you've actually done ballet.
Yeah.
Right, because ballet
Works in
is
your
hard.
advantage.
Right, the fact
So-
that you did ballet and you're all like, "Oh, it's been so long since I've done it." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, whatever." But they did it to Swan Lake. It was a ballet inspired Argentine tango, and I was kind of not ready for that. I was not ready for them lifts. I was not ready for what they were doing. I was like, "What is happening right now?" And what I also wasn't ready for was that tutu not to try to come off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was a little wardrobe malfunction.
I was like, "Are they going to get to finish the dance?" Because that tutu was kind of holding them up
Yeah.
a minute.
I know.
Which-
And at the very beginning, I loved her kind of fake point shoes. But the problem was that they weren't real ballet shoes or point shoes. So when she pointed, her toes were not straight. So I don't know. That kind of threw me off.
That bothered you.
That bothered me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, not quite there. But then once it became a little bit like darker and more fierce and
Yeah.
the lights went down, that gave me chills. I thought it was really well done.
I personally thought that this dance was like I was able to feel the passion between them and the dance. Like they were feeling the dance. I really enjoyed it. In the beginning, I was kind of like a little hesitant about it, but then they brought it together, and I really enjoyed all the passion that was brought through.
It's so
the
interesting
dance.
because for me, I was seeing the dance completely technically sound, but I wasn't sensing the passion. It's funny. I kept thinking if this were Max and Meryl, remember that season where Meryl was on?
Oh yeah, they had the passion.
Yes.
They had
and I
it.
was like, if we would see this exact choreography with those two, I would have felt it in such a different way. And their
Yeah.
Argentines were always so good. But Alexis, I don't know. I need to get on board. You know, there's always one couple that for some reason you're just not connecting with. I'm sensing a wall, and I just feel like she's hitting the moves, and she's a technically proficient dancer, but I'm not sure she's performing with that extra oomph that gets me excited about a performance,
Yeah.
personally.
You know what's really interesting in the live chat, book, movie, TV, TV Worm says, much like Nancy, she is hitting the steps but not performing. She's trying hard to keep her Instagram mystery around her. That's kind of interesting.
Well, honey, Lynn Goodman disagrees with all of that. He said it was a great mix of precision and passion. He said it was the best dance this season so far. Carrie Ann said the lifts and wardrobe were not so great, but everything else was exceptional. That they needed some tension. No, she said the tension, that they nailed the tension. And Bruno said it was a prima Argentina, so there was that. And I love the fact that Alan thanked the music and costume departments for contributing to their dance. They got scores of 8, 9, and 8 with a total of 25 out of 30. Moving on to Joe and Jenna.
Grocery Store Joe.
Grocery Store Joe.
God
honey,
bless him.
Doing that foxtrot. Doing that foxtrot. Now, this is what I loved. In his package, his girlfriend Kendall came to rehearsal so she could help him with his
so
stuff.
cute.
I'm like,
She was recording
that's
the
a
dance.
die-hard ride or die chick. That's what that is right there. You
I
need
love seeing them together.
Joe, if you watching, you need to keep that one around because she got your back. Let's see what I said about them. I love the fact that she helped him out. It was okay. It was okay for me. They danced to New York State of Mind, one of my favorite Billy Joel songs. Carrie Ann said it was transformational from last week for him, that it was elegant, and that he's like the slowest turtle that kind of comes around to win the race eventually. And that's kind of the perfect way to describe him. Lynn said last week he was a caterpillar, this week he's a butterfly. And Bruno said that he hit some really nice lines, and that this is my favorite part, that he said, you have a nice body for a dancer and have the confidence. I can help you if you want. And he said that on more than one occasion. I'm like, Bruno, calm down, honey. Calm down. Get your life. Calm down.
Bruno's thirsty, I think.
Yeah.
He was a little thirsty for Joe. I'm like, I'm going to need you to sit in a corner somewhere. What did y'all think about their dance?
Okay, so of course last week I was very surprised that Joe made it past week 1. So congratulations
It's all
to
the
Joe.
Bachelorette fans.
Seriously, the
Bachelor
fans
There's that
came
lift.
through. But I think he definitely performed better this week. However, that lift was so scary. I was like, first of all, he didn't even grab her correctly from the beginning to start out the lift.
And she popped up in the air and then hit the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
But then I felt like he really felt this dance because he was able to practice this dance with his girlfriend. So I feel like the love for the dance came out of him because he was able to practice this dance with his partner. So I think that's what helped him a lot. So hopefully his partner is down to learn the dances every week.
Yeah.
Because I think that's going to help him a lot feel comfortable, because I feel like he feels more comfortable with actually being able to dance this with his girlfriend and then coming out on stage and performing it for everybody
Absolutely.
else.
I think the low lighting helped him a lot.
Wow, Kayley. She went all the way down to the lighting.
I hear you.
Dang.
I hear you.
His face, he cannot wipe away what he's thinking on his face. He always has the lack of confidence, and you can just always see that in his eyes and his smile. When he smiles, he has such a cute smile, but
does.
he's just lacking confidence, and so
I had this thought when I was watching Joe tonight. I kind of the thought of man, it almost looks like all the rest of these couples have worked in show business, and he's just this normal guy who worked. And then I was like, oh yeah, he's just this normal guy who was working at a grocery store 2 months ago.
Yeah,
so
quite literally.
when you think of it that way in the context of everyone else, because sure they don't have professional dance experience, but if you're an actor and you're having to hit marks and memorize lines, you're developing the skills you need to learn how to become a professional dancer. Whereas this is literally like an average Joe from Chicago who worked at a grocery store. So I want to give him some credit because the jump we saw this week was huge. He was at least. I'm sort of like he's hitting moves and then walking to his next mark and then hitting another move. But at least he's hitting his marks, right? So, Joe, I'm here for you. Keep going for it, man.
We're throwing you roses.
I feel like I'm Joe. That's why. I feel like I
you're
identify
funny.
with Joe.
You got jokes.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next one because we running short on time. We got to fly, honey, to Nashi and Brandon. And I know we all got a lot to say about this one.
Gosh.
They did an Argentine tango. For me, it was the best dance of the night. It was seamless. Miss Thing got legs for days. I was living for this dance. What y'all think?
Okay, this dance, I was like, she was fire. She was so good. In the beginning when they were showing the practice, I was a little bit worried about all the lifts and then the fact that they mentioned that there were so many lifts. And when you're doing lifts, you really have to practice and make sure that the timing is everything. And if one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong. So, and I was a little bit worried only because I know that her partner, this is like his first year, so he's like newly pro. So, but he's definitely like out, like shining her. He's definitely being like, okay, this is her. She knows how to do her thing. So let me show her to you guys and let me show you what she can do. So I loved it. I want her to win, but there's so many other people that I want to win too. So I'm here rooting for everybody.
Okay.
It's so impressive by week number 2 that they're already that comfortable with each other to do that many lifts.
Yeah.
It was,
And those lifts were hard too. They were
hard,
difficult.
and they were so seamless. She was so flawless. It was so well done. I got chills.
It's her flexibility that's so wild. Like when they
Yeah.
did that lift where she was like arched on his back, or maybe it's not even
one?
this, it was before this. But
splits, too.
I will say, I agree a bit with Len. As much as I love this, it didn't quite feel like was it supposed to be an Argentine? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was an Argentine tango.
Yeah, it didn't feel like one to me, but I still really enjoyed it.
It wasn't, but yeah.
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 It was like a modern Argentine tango.
Yeah.
So Lynn actually said that he thought it was that she's a terrific dancer, but that it did lack a little bit of the Argentine tango flavor for him and passion a little bit. But said that she was fantastic. They got a score of 9, 8, and 9 with a total of 26. Loved it. And I love Carrie Ann was like, work. I'm like, girl, go on with your life. And then we had Jesse Tyler Ferguson come out serving pretzels to plug Modern Family ABC show. Wah, wah, wah. Then the next couple up was Milo and Whitney. They did a Charleston. I thought their dance was awesome. It had high energy. It had great lifts. I love that Milo called what he was doing control flailing. That made me laugh out loud. What do you guys think about them?
I love Milo.
Yeah.
Like, I want Milo to be like my brother.
Yeah, he's slowly winning the hearts of America.
Right? I love his energy. I love his smile. When he performs, you can tell that he's done Broadway before because he was legitimately, I didn't feel like I was sitting down here just like watching a performance from Dancing with the Stars. I was like, oh my gosh, I would totally go watch you in Broadway any day. You just tell me what show you're at and I'll come. I enjoyed his performance a lot.
Oh yeah, he's
You
a
guys
natural
agree?
born performer.
Yeah, I get Riker vibes. You guys remember Riker? That was like from like 5 seasons ago.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of like, maybe not the technically best dancer, but such a good performer.
Yeah.
so
sort of the
fun.
controlled flailing element, which I totally get.
I love that control flailing comment. That makes me laugh out loud.
Yeah, he's the kind of performer that can really, really sell a dance, even if technically he's not quite there with the
Yeah.
other dancers. I really enjoyed this.
Absolutely. He got
I
a
enjoy
score.
watching him.
Yeah, he got a score of 9, 8, and 9, which is a 25, right? 25? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he tied with Tinashe for the best score of the
Yes.
night. Next up is Mary Lou and Gleb. She danced to Natural Woman, a waltz. It was okay. It was all right. I mean, the package was better than the dance was for me.
Yeah.
Sorry. I love Mary Lou Retton, but
She was stronger last week, wasn't she?
yeah, she was.
Really? Okay. I personally think she was strong last week when she came out. She had legs for days. But she did mention, I think she mentioned last week, or maybe she mentioned it during the practice this week, that she had to go in front of America and dance. And as soon as she said that, I think she mentioned it because she was like, I'm afraid at the fact that, like, I don't know if it's maybe her age or, like, her being self-conscious a little bit about the fact that she's Dancing with the Stars, but she's coming out. Like, I think that her mentioning the fact that she has to come out and dance in front of America, she feels the pressure. And there was a certain moment where I feel like she was like, you know what, like, I'm here and I'm going to dance for you, and she let go. And she brought out that 50-year-old woman that we all want to become eventually, where she was like, she looked stunning. I loved the dress. I felt like she embraced herself and, like, her sexiness as a 50-year-old woman. I really enjoyed it.
I'm gonna need y'all not to be talking about 50-year-old women like they're 100. That's what I'm gonna need y'all not to do.
I kind of think that Sasha...
Let's just shut that down.
I sort of think Sasha pushed her a bit too much choreographically. Like, I don't think she was quite ready for this level of choreography. This is a very difficult routine, and I think maybe he should have scaled it back 5%. I think she was out of her comfort zone, personally. And I think she's good, but I think this was too hard for her.
Okay. Well, Carrie Ann said that halfway through she felt like something opened up in her and that she saw that she could trust herself. Lynn said it was a lovely waltz, but cautioned her to watch her shoulders and said it was very well done. Bruno said to embrace the music and the moment and don't lose your neck in the port de bras, because she has a tendency to go like this when she's dancing. When her arms and stuff come up, her whole upper body comes up. So they got a score of 8, 7, and 7 with a total of 22. Moving on to Juan Pablo and Cheryl, who did a quick step to 42nd Street. And it was joyful. It had a lot of energy. I thought they had good framing together. Their feet got a little tangled up there for a second.
That, yeah.
I was like, did their feet get tangled up? Yeah, they did. But I enjoyed them. I did, but I enjoyed him better last week.
Yeah.
He's entertaining to watch. He's obviously very good looking, as you like to point out. But
Yes, Carla.
but no, yeah, he just needs to get his technique down a little bit. Like, he has the performance aspect of it. He's extremely fun to watch, but just the technique, he's a little bit off in the footwork and the framing, like Len said.
Well,
Yeah, okay, so that's that. We'll move on from there. So they got a 9, a 8, a 9, which is a total of 26.
Super overscored, I think. I mean, I think he's great, but
I know,
It was-
2 9s.
it was a little bit overscored. I feel like he did much better last week, and I was kind of hoping that he was going to do an Argentine tango because he's Argentinian.
right.
But
I'm sure that's coming, honey. I'm sure it's coming.
I just, his footwork was there, but his rim wasn't. And I was kind of like hoping that his rim would be there because he did so well with the salsa last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, moving on to Keo and Ivana, they did a samba. She's another one that don't straighten them arms. I'm just like, and
Right.
she
Yeah.
doesn't straighten those
Yeah,
arms. I'm gonna need you to.
yeah.
I'm gonna need you to straighten. When somebody does not straighten their arms or point their feet, that just wears me out. I can't take it. I really just can't take it. And her hip action for a samba was really kind of awkward. Like, it looked like it was. I can't even begin to explain what kind of beat that was she was doing them hips to. And they were like, "Oh, you had good hip action." I'm like, "What dance were you watching?"
I didn't mind her hip action. I feel like this was maybe, or like she might have not been ready for a samba. Like, I feel like maybe they should have waited a couple more weeks.
This will be one of those dances that she'll do again.
I'm sure it might have been that they scored her as like a week 2 samba. Like, they gave her a little bit of grace on the scoring, but you know, that timing was hard. And I will say, sometimes I think Keo outshines his partners, but I think they're working really well together. I actually like Keo and her as a pairing a lot, and I think I'm watching her and I'm not watching Keo, which isn't always the case with him and his partners.
Yes, and I was saying before we got on the air that they usually pair him up with somebody that isn't even in his league dancing wise.
Exactly.
So the fact that he actually has somebody that can keep up with him a little bit, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like, why?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
seeing it now, Carla.
You see what I'm saying? Like, why? But I'm glad that they actually paired him up with somebody that's in his league. They got an 8.
Well,
sorry.
Sorry.
But we running out of time. Go ahead. Make it
What
quick.
I wanted to say about her is that I feel like she has so much pressure on herself of like, I wanted to get into dance school and I didn't get into dance school, so I need to go out here and like show everybody. But I feel like she doesn't feel confident enough to be like, oh wait, I wasn't accepted for a reason. And I think that's why she doesn't straighten her arms. She didn't let her hips go the way that they should go. And I think it's just because she's so in her head of like how she's performing. So I think like in a couple of weeks, hopefully she'll feel more comfortable and she'll show us that little like dancer that she definitely has inside of herself.
We
because
gonna
we can all see it.
We're going to give her the benefit of the doubt. They got an 8, 8, 8, which is a total of 24. And last but not least for the night was Bobby and Sharna. I love when Tom Bergeron said that if Bill Nye and Elvis Costello had a baby, that he would be it. And that was totally right on point.
Accurate.
That was totally. And then, he was talking about they're doing a foxtrot to New York by Sinatra, which is what we opened with. And he talked about that he is a small town boy, 700 people in his town in Arkansas. And every time he goes to New York, it feels like Disneyland. But them flex feet and that little thing at the end, I'm like, boo, I'm gonna need you to just do the choreography, just do it. But his energy is infectious. I love watching him on the dance floor. He's one of those people this season is like the entertainer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's like the entertainer of the season.
He's so youthful and like fun. I enjoy watching him. Like, I don't even pay attention to what the dance is or the choreography. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely enjoying whatever it is that you're doing. I love that you ended with the floss. I'm like, let's keep you for as long as we can.
I could not disagree more. God bless your opinion. To me, Bobby feels like the guy who's in your English class your junior year of high school and is just so irritating and always bugging the teacher. And maybe I'm a wet mop, but
You're a wet mop. I kind of like him. He's entertaining.
You
to
guys
me.
like him?
Yeah.
I think Len liked him too. I mean, he couldn't even like verbalize anything. He was just laughing about the floss at the end.
And Bruno called him brilliantly bonkers. But at the end of their dance, they got a 7, 8, and a 7 with a total of 20. And we ended up with a 3-way tie between Tanashi, Milo, and Juan Pablo. So it's going to be interesting going into week 3.
Strong.
So we're going to have 2 segments that we're introducing with this Dancing with the Stars cycle. We talked about one of them Well, no, we didn't. We're going to talk about one of them now. It's called the Dancing with the Stars Throwback. And nothing would be more appropriate than to do a Dancing with the Stars throwback to our own Maria Menounos, who is a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. Let's take a look at her real fast. Yes, for that move right there. Yes.
I love this.
I'm sure Kevin loved this too.
I know her back was killing her. Wait, watch this. And then watch this.
That's so cute.
I love it.
That was one of the things that made them the couple to watch for that season.
Yeah.
They were so much fun. They didn't take themselves too seriously, and she did really well. She was in the top 3, I believe, of the Dancing with the Stars finals the season that she competed. So that is our Dancing with the Stars throwback with our own Maria Menounos.
I love it. I love that outfit. She looks so good.
So good.
The other segment that we're going to introduce, slowly but surely, is our predictions. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about Tuesday night, because we don't want to end this night without talking about how Nikki got kicked off. So she went home. They had a bunch. They announced who was in the bottom. They did a bunch of different dances. All the couples did, very different than what they did Monday night. But at the end of Tuesday night, Nikki was sent home. What you doing?
I don't know. Listen, my mic. Sorry, y'all.
Nikki was sent home, and we are sorry to see her go, but we know she'll be back toward the end when they do the big finale. We'll get to see her dance again at that time. How you guys feel about Nikki?
I'm
going home.
sad. I love Nikki Glazer. I'm not surprised she got kicked off, but I'm a big fan. I've loved her stand-up for like years, so I think she would have been such a fun personality to have on the show. There's some speculation that she got kicked off based on the comment that was made. I don't know if you guys saw, but they said, you're having a lot of rough sets. And she said rough sets or rough
yes,
sex?
I caught that, yes.
Which, I mean, I think she's hilarious. I love watching someone who can riff like that, but I think people speculate ABC might have given her the axe because she wasn't on brand.
Oh, that
makes sense.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know.
That's
Let us know in the
unfortunate.
comments what you think, because I'd be interested to hear people's takes.
Yeah, chat room. Totally let us know what you think.
Yeah.
I was also very surprised to see her go. That's definitely not who I was expecting to go.
Okay.
It's competitive, though.
It is. You got to bring it. You can. This is the thing about Dancing with the Stars. You cannot come on Dancing with the Stars and warm up into the competition. You got to come out both barrels blazing, and it needs to stay that way from the day you come to the day you leave, if you leave at all. And so that's all I'm going. That's my disclaimer about that.
Right.
So next week. Well, not next week, but who do we think is going to get kicked off from this week? Because they have another night of competition tomorrow where we have another night tomorrow with Vegas, but who do we think is going to go home from tonight?
So I think the 2 lowest scores was Danelle and Artem, and then Bobby and Sharna. And honestly, I have a feeling that they're going to keep Danelle, and we might actually see our fun personality Bobby go. I think he was the one that he might be performing, but he's not really doing the dance.
I think people like him, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay, and I think
Really?
Danelle is going to go.
I'm actually worried about Nancy. I just feel like
Nancy?
she is forgettable, unfortunately.
But I think Danelle before Nancy, but we'll see. We'll find
see.
out. What do you think, Kayley?
I'm thinking Danelle as well.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't want her to go. She's so sweet, but
We don't ever want anybody to go.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that is it for this edition, episodes 2 and 3 of Dancing with the Stars After Show at AfterBuzz TV. Yes. So we're going to come back next week. We're going to talk about Tuesday night's 8 p.m. Vegas episode that's featuring Boyz II Men, with performances from Boyz II Men, Celine Dion, Donny Osmond, Blue Man Group, and so much more. You should stay tuned for Dancing with the Stars Junior on this Sunday, which starts, and I'm out of breath.
Carla, let me just say, very well moderated, Carla. That was very impressive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I try my best. So if you want to keep in touch with me or keep up with me outside of Dancing with the Stars, my handle across all social media platforms is The Curvy Critic. You can catch me on Sundays at Black Hollywood Live on Black Tomatoes. You can also catch me on Wednesday for the Jack Ryan After Show, and on Sundays for the General Hospital After Show. And where can we find you, Miss Carla?
Hey guys, you guys can follow me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran or on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end.
Guys, I am Jeff Graham. You can find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham and Instagram at Jeffrey Crane Graham. Kaylee, thanks for joining today.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
you did a great job. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It was fun.
This is such a fun group.
Yes.
You can follow me at Kayley Stumpe on Instagram and Twitter, and check out my podcast called Sex and Studio City.
Ooh, nice. Well, thank you for joining us, y'all, for the Dancing with the Stars after show here at AfterBuzz TV. It has been our pleasure to hang with you. Thanks for joining us in the chat room. Join us every week. We will talk back to you, as you very well know by now. Until next time, see you later. Bye.
Ciao.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.